All right, I really did not feel the need to make a video about Jada Pinkett and all the shenanigans, but we're here today to talk about what is the actual thing that you need to look out for in this relationship. I feel that everybody's made videos commenting on the usual, the kids, the Chris Rock slap. I made a video about that a few months ago.
Uh-oh, Richard! Oh, wow! Wow!
There's different things people can talk about, the Tupac situation, but there's a dynamic that's happening in the relationship that you need to be aware of. Whether you're a man or a woman, this dynamic will help you identify in your own life the pattern. That's why we're talking about it. If you can see this pattern, you can stop it and you can address it in your own life. That pattern is insecurity. Before I can go any further, I would regret it if I did not tell you about Conversation Mentoring. We have that restarting, new sessions. I limit it to 5 people that I personally mentor. If you think that you're at the top of the class, you want to get behind the velvet ropes and learn everything that I know, I take 5 people every session to mentor, and I limit it to just that because I want to keep it intimate and interactive and exclusive. So if you think you could be the right fit for that, there's a link for it in the comments section pinned up there. Check it out, fill out a few brief questions, and we'll see if you're the right fit. Now, what do I mean by insecurity? It's not like the way you typically think about it. People are usually insecure about their height or their boobs or their fashion or how much money you have. It's not that. Insecurity is really something different. It's almost like in this situation, there's a gap. Here you have Will Smith, who's this international superstar, right? Movies, acting, he does stuff at theme parks. He's all around seems to be a great guy, right? By external appearances, he seems to really love his kids and put them first and front line and center, publicly and in private life, as far as we can see. He seems to be a friendly person. He seems to have but all of his life, if you go back to even his early days in his music, he seems to be a positive, outgoing, energetic guy. And what happens is when you're with somebody that has to live in the shadow of that, imagine being married to one of the top 10 movie stars of the last 20 years, okay? And you have to live in the shadow of that. What happens to you then? Is it enough to just be that person's partner? I'm that amazing person's partner. Now, some people will be satisfied with that. Somebody that's just normal, run-of-the-mill, maybe somebody that has a regular 9-to-5 job, they could be satisfied with that. I think like Robert De Niro, for example, his wife is just a regular person. Some Hollywood celebrities have regular people as lives. But if you're in a relationship with somebody and they also have aspirations to be successful or entertainment themselves, then your career completely dwarfs them. And everything you do is like they are only known as your wife or husband or partner, and nobody's actually looking out for them for what they can do creatively. Then, I hate to say it, you might be living in the shadow of that person, and you might start feeling some kind of way about it, right? Feeling some kind of way. Now, imagine this for not just 1 year, 2 years, but like 15 years, 20 years of this, right? Eventually, at some point, this is gonna come back and haunt you because you're gonna feel like, I've never been the person I could have been. I've never been all that I was meant to be. This relationship held me back. That's a crazy resentment to have because the other person could be doing everything for them. They could be like helping them out, putting them on, getting the opportunities and positions. You feel like the other person's holding you back. If you really look at Jada Pinkett's career, like she hasn't had a hot movie besides popping up in the Matrix Revolutions movie, I think it was, the 4th Matrix movie just came out. She's had a hot movie in like 10 years, 15 years, to be honest with you. I can't remember what she was in before that. Or is she known for she's fashionable, yeah, but does she have a fashion line that we know about? Is she on a perfume for Louis Vuitton or Chanel? Is she doing something in society that's like a society charity or something like that where people are really respecting her for that? Is she part of the Lee's Waterhouse Foundation, or is she no, we don't really know her for that. So it's like she's constantly really she's living off of him. Really, she's living off of his hype, his clout, his financial stability. And you can say, yeah, she definitely provides emotional stability for the household, not stability now, but emotional part for the household. She does the part of that, but she's living in the shadow of him. So you can think about it in your own life. Have you ever been with somebody in a relationship, whether you're male or female watching this, have you ever been with somebody in a relationship where they're in the shadow of you? You are successful, you've done things, and they're just kind of chipping along. And you're trying to encourage them to get their stuff together. You're trying to encourage them to be the best that they can be, but it doesn't seem to really work out. You kind of end up supporting the relationship. You end up being the sponsor, the sponsor in the relationship. And I think they can only last for a certain amount of time. I think it's destined to fail because insecurity starts to creep in. If we look at right now, what are the things that Jada Pinkett's getting very popular off of? Her family. She's using her family for clout. She's using stories about her husband for clout. She's essentially promoting self-destruction of her own family, pure low vibration energy, by the way, self-destruction of her own family just to get notoriety or to get ahead or get attention. And I think that's the darkest kind, where you're willing to sacrifice the happiness of the people that love you. Like, imagine that. You're willing to sacrifice the happiness of the people that love you to get attention and to get clout. Just think of that for a second. And why would somebody do that? Because they're insecure. The reason that anybody does that is they're insecure. And so they eventually start to poison drip you, which is complain, nag, the garbage is like this. We missed this day at the show. I'm late to this. You never do this. You always do that. A real man would do X, Y, Z. And that kind of poison dripping, that's sucking of energy, that happiness, over time eventually just kills the other person in the relationship. It's almost like they have to poison drip you with negative things in order to suck you down to the level that they subconsciously, not consciously, but subconsciously know that they are at. Publicly, they're happy for you, they're happy for all your things you're doing. Subconsciously, they know that they aren't worth anything, want to pull you down. This is one of the things that honestly people don't realize when it comes to like even dating a stripper. People say, I would love to date a stripper. But subconsciously, that stripper knows that they're going to the club every night and they are using their body to produce finances. Not like a way a guy who's a construction worker would use his body to create finances, but they're using their body to sell it to people who are in a low vibration state of not satisfied sensually to create more money and bring it home to them and the guy or whatever they're dating, right? So if you end up dating a stripper, what ends up happening is there is a energy suck. There's a poison drip. If you're doing something like a regular 9 to 5, maybe you're an accountant or whatever, they're gonna eventually poison drip you because they feel undeserving of you subconsciously.
Yeah, because she don't just...
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we...
Don't just start rolling.
Please watch us stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell?
I've had relationships like that too, where I've went to countries that were amazing countries, like second and third world countries, and I've met amazing people. You can meet anybody there. I meet these people, and subconsciously they're like, well, he's kind of doing better than me in different ways, so I'm gonna enjoy the fun, I'm gonna enjoy the ride, the vacations, the restaurants, etc. But then as several months into it, they start to feel that gap, let's call it the value gap, right? And that value gap is too big, and subconsciously they start to destroy the relationship. And they do it because they need to feel good. They need to get an emotion of power and control in the relationship. And I believe that is what is happening right now with Willie and JD Smithos. So this is something you have to look out for, insecurity. I think you should not be involved with somebody that's too far of a gap from you. I think that's ultimately going to be one of the destructions of the relationship. If they're too far of a gap away from you, you got to be somewhere around the same level. I was watching Ty Lopez the other day saying that people usually marry within 10 IQ points of each other for a long-lasting relationship. That makes sense. I think there's a certain thing that has to go with cultural backgrounds. I think if you're from a power culture, you got to date somebody from a power culture, not a survival culture. If you're from a respect culture, you can't be with somebody that's from a power culture. It's like, or sometimes you can like one level over, but if it's like power to survival, like somebody's from a third world country and you're like an American, it's gonna be too much of a gap, all right? It will make the person insecure. And insecurity is the cancer of a relationship that will slowly start to come out in micro disrespects. They'll start disrespecting you, they'll start insulting you, they'll start doing little things like that. These micro disrespects will add up over time. And if you don't address them right away, they take over the relationship and can never be solved again. This is just the tip of the iceberg, right? You like what you heard, tap in to what I'm doing. Tap in with working with me. I have a conversation mentoring that I'm actually rebooting right now. It's been around for about 3 years and I'm upgrading with all new material like what I'm talking about today, so you can avoid these types of relationships and learn how to get yourself out of one if you are in one, and what to look for, how to screen for it, and how to address micro disrespect as it happens in real time. Jump on my call with me and my team. It's a breakthrough strategy session to see exactly where you're falling off and where you can do better. What are the things that are holding you back, and put up some goals for you in place so you have something to work towards. There's a link in the description or somewhere in the comment section. Hit that if you think it's fair. It's gonna be a great deal. It costs you nothing, 100% free. And I'd love to talk to you at that point, all right? So without further ado, see you in the next video, up here or here. Let's keep it rocking. Cheers.